Hello, welcome to Too Long Didn't Watch. This is Paul.
This is Geoff.
We're going to be taking a movie trailer and we're going to tell you what that movie's about, so maybe you won't have to see it. Today we're going to be talking about Atomic Blonde. It's coming out, sometime soon. And
We didn't pay that much attention.
No, we really didn't pay that much attention. I mean, the trailer was too long, so the fact that we even watched it
I know.
a little different.
In this society nowadays, I mean, who has the time to sit down and watch a 2-hour-long movie when I can watch a 2-minute-long trailer and be perfectly content with the action and the pizzazz that I see there?
Right? And then, you know what? Even if you don't want to watch the trailer, that's what we're here for. Because we'll cover the trailer and we'll tell you what the movie's about.
And then you don't have to, have your eyes get tired on you. Just your ears.
I hate tired eyes.
They just make everybody look sad.
They really do. And I'm sad all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So, we're going to flip a coin. We're going to start talking about the new Charlize Theron movie, Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, but before we do that, we are going to give you a little rundown on what we saw in this trailer. So, right off the bat, it opens up with Charlize Theron in her nice black...
Fishnets.
Yeah, fishnets.
And she's taping stuff.
Yeah, it looks like a wire of some sort, maybe.
It's probably a penis.
Yeah.
She's taping
it's
down...
a really thin one.
Well, I mean, she's a very pretty lady, and pretty ladies don't typically have very thick penises.
Yeah, pretty ladies have, petite penises. We all know.
My favorite pretty ladies have petite penises.
The best pretty ladies have the petitest penises.
Ooh, the petitest of penises.
Yes. So she's taping this up. She's getting it all on her belly button stuff. And then right after that, cuts to her in an elevator. She is getting a gun ready and closing her eyes and getting in her zone. And then, bam, action happens. She's beating up guys, showing them who's boss. And guess what? That's Charlize Theron. And she's British. Who knew?
I didn't.
I didn't know either
and
until she started talking.
Well, I mean, even if you watch the trailer,
like back and forth.
I know you can't really tell she's British
until she says like a few different lines,
and you go, "Oh, I think she's British."
Yeah. So you get some epic action stuff going on, and then creepy British dude pops in. The creepy British dude. He's very talented, but he looks like he just crawled out from under a bridge. What else? Okay, so what goes on after that?
Okay, so she comes out of the elevator. She's got a gun. She's doing headshots. It's all in time to music because it's a modern trailer. After that, we learn that someone's dead. It's up to her to figure it out.
Yeah.
And action ensues. All kinds of carnage.
James McAvoy pops up, and he's a British guy, like in real life, and he's like, hey, witty banter. And she's like, shut the fuck up.
And he's like, I fucking love you.
Yeah.
And she's like, too fucking bad, bro.
Because guess what? Next scene, there's a French chick. And that French chick is an operative. They need to get information from her. But
and
you know how...
get information from her.
You know how that information is gotten?
Through fingers and touching of vaginas.
And that is not from James McAvoy. That is from
Charlize Theron.
Yes. Oh, we should also mention that this trailer that we watched was a Red Band trailer. So,
yeah. It's actually a real trailer. It's not just something we saw on like X videos. It was like, yeah, that's going to be a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, and the French operative is the alien from
Aliens.
Yes.
She's
a chest burster. She's a chest burster.
Yes, she is, especially in this role.
Oh yeah. Her chest bursts out. Charlize Theron's chest bursts out. You don't really get to see anything because even though it's a Red Band trailer, you're not really going to get that Red Band, especially on YouTube. But I digress.
You do.
Other than that, just action. John Goodman shows up for a little bit.
Does John Goodman stuff. Even though most trailers give away the whole fucking movie these days, there's still some stuff left to the imagination, but we're here to break that imagination and go, no.
Oh, nay.
This is what the movie is going to be about.
Yes.
When we do that, we're going to flip a coin, and we're going to figure out who's going to tell you what
best
first.
And best.
Sure. So yeah, actually, let's do that really quick and just explain how this podcast will break down.
The person who flipped the coin gets to decide if he goes first or second.
The person who wins the coin flip.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'll check the recording. It's not what you said.
I know. Just listen to me. But yeah, whoever wins the coin flip will get to choose if they go first or second. Then they tell what they think this movie is going to be. Or no, they don't tell you what they think it's going to be.
No,
They tell you what this is going to be.
Yeah, there's no questions here.
No.
There's only two definitives that will eventually merge into a single definitive.
Yes, and that is the third part of this Hydra that we call TLDW, or Too Long Didn't Watch.
The podcast.
There we go. I think it's time to flip a coin.
I think it's time to flip a coin. You want to call it?
Tails.
It is heads. I think I'm going to go first.
Okay, I'm excited for this.
Oh, you should be. All right, folks out there and folk in here. Atomic Blonde. Charlize Theron is in this movie. James McAvoy is in this movie. John Goodman, a goblin, a French lesbian. They're all in this movie. The movie opens up. James McAvoy is running his mouth. Okay. He's talking some shit to some German spy. This German spy is like, oh, 9-9.
Oh, 9-9.
9-9. Das ist not boot.
Oh, okay, you are not a boot.
No, you are not a boot. Right. Okay, so he's like, 9-9. This is not good. I don't like how this English man is running his mouth. So you know what he does? He kills James McAvoy.
Twist.
Yeah, James McAvoy is dead within the first 5 minutes of Atomic Blonde. Okay. We smash cut to Charlize Theron. She's shopping. She's in like Piccadilly Circus or someplace in
some British.
Yeah, some touristy spot in London. Okay. And so she's sitting there and she's shopping. These dudes come up and they try and nick her purse. What does she do? She becomes a fucking badass and she kicks their asses. Like she beats them down in the middle of the street. The cops see this and they run after her. She's like, oh crap, the cops are coming. So she takes her little turtleneck and she puts it over her face because she wants to be inconspicuous when she murder these cops. Mm-hmm. Spoiler, she murders the cops.
What?
Yeah, these cops are now fucking dead.
Whoa.
So these other cops come in and they trank her. Pop, down for the count. Okay. She wakes up in an interrogation room with a goblin played by Toby Jones and John Goodman looking old and sad. Lorraine, we learned some stuff about you. Yeah? What'd you learn about me? You're a leftover from a Whitehall experiment. How'd you know? We have our sources. Turns out she's part of an experiment that made lesbians give resurrection powers to men.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, see?
I'm with you. Let's see where this goes. I'm ready.
They're talking to her and they're asking her about her magical vagina. And she's like, yeah, it's magical, but it's got to be played right. And they're like, look, we need you to do us a favor. James McAvoy is dead. And without James McAvoy,
we don't have a movie.
We don't have a movie. We don't even have old X-Men movies because he gets like hardcore killed.
Oh, and like he almost gets erased from time.
Exactly. He's really killed hard.
Okay.
That's why they need Charlize Theron's magical Whitehall vagina.
Okay. Let's get there.
Okay. This experiment was left over from World War II. The British Army needed soldiers that could live forever. So what they did was they got all the most attractive women in England and they infused their blood with this life-giving force. This life-giving force turns these women into these atomic super blondes that are capable of resurrecting the dead.
What's the catch?
The catch is it can only be done by another woman.
Okay, so they can only...
Only two women can bring back a dead man. So they're talking to her and they say, look, we really need you to go save James McAvoy. We're going to send you to Germany and it's up to you to get everything figured out. So she's like, fine, what's in it for me? They say, we'll clear your entire record of murdering all these cops in the middle of, London Square.
Okay.
She's like, okay, fine. So she goes to Berlin and she goes to a bar and she starts asking around about James McAvoy. And people are like, he's all right. She goes, no. Do you know who killed him? And they're like, oh my God, James McAvoy is dead? Whatever will the X-Men do? And she's like, no, that's not this. I need help saving
we're
James.
In a movie.
We need help saving James McAvoy. So she's asking around and she sees this little French lady from across the bar. They start talking. All of a sudden, there's like this psychic connection between the two. And they start making out. They start dry humping. They start going at it like a couple of wild dogs in heat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere?
Just out of nowhere, man. It's that psychic atomic connection.
Okay.
So they're fooling around. Next thing you know, James McAvoy is there. And he's knocking on the door. She goes and she's opening the door. And she's like, oh my God, James McAvoy, you are here. And he goes, that's right. I am here. Now it's up to the two of us to stop Robot Hitler.
What?
Yeah. Robot Hitler is back.
Why?
Because he has unfinished business, like a ghost would, except he's a robot.
He just wanted to actually get his commemorative coins that he forgot.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually like underneath
The bunker.
The bunker,
Mhm.
yeah. He put them in like a tin that he had when he was a kid, like a crisps tin or something.
You know the little butter cookies that is
Yeah.
always sewing supplies?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Except his
Oh,
actually
okay.
has commemorative coins from,
No,
Nazi
Nazi.
Germany.
So these will be worth something someday.
Yeah. Zombie bus the most. So now it's up to Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, and a French lesbian to stop robot Hitler from taking over the world. That is what Atomic Blonde is about.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna give you my take on this movie. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So what happens? We open up. Charlize Theron is in a tub filled with ice, and she's just soaking all of her wounds. She gets out, and she's just covered in bruises. I'm like, what's going on? Why is that? She grabs a couple of the ice cubes out, puts them in a glass, gets some booze, starts drinking.
Okay.
Voiceover. You start hearing Goblin Man talking, and he's saying, "Hey, have you heard about this one guy? He's dead." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I heard about him. I know him. What's it mean? Why do I care?" And they're like, "Well, you're a pretty good hit girl lady, and like I've seen you. We have footage." And then they pull up, and it's just like this crazy, really good, just like follow cam of her just kicking ass in an elevator.
How'd they get that video?
They're MI5, man. They can do whatever they want.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
and
true.
I mean the Europeans are like vastly ahead of the Americans. So I mean, let's be honest.
Especially in terms of voyeurism.
Yes.
Their voyeurism is just like primo.
Japanese, Europeans, Americans. Visual cue, I am making a scale.
And Americans are all the way on the bottom.
Yes. Japanese are way up at the top.
They're pretty hardcore to their voyeurism.
Yes. So she's like, "How did you get that?" And they're like, "We're MI5. We can really get anything." It's like, "Okay, well, it's out. Yeah, I'm a hit lady. And I'm really good at it." She's like, "Okay, well, we want to put you up with one of our agents. We're going to fly you to Berlin, and we want you to talk to this French lady. This French lady has a bunch of information about the killings, and we want you to figure it out." She's like, "Okay, fine, whatever. Let's go and do this." So they go. She gets on the airplane, drops down. James McAvoy's character picks her up, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Wow, you're pretty hot." She's like, "Yeah, I know. What of it?" He's like, "Okay, well, get in the car. We're gonna go and meet this French lady." So they start driving, and James McAvoy is still trying to like hit on her because he's just like a horn dog. And he starts driving, but he's looking in the mirror, and he's like, "Hold on," and he turns off real fast. And then there's an epic like chase scene. You see this two cars just pulled out after them and chasing them, and then just so much action that I can't even explain it. And
all the action.
And then after that, they flip the car. While they flip the car, Charlize Theron, she got her gun and she pulls it out. While it's flipping, she takes out one driver, then the other driver. They skid out and into the sides of the road, hitting a bunch of cars, killing people all over the place. They land face down. James McAvoy and Charlize Theron get out, and they're completely unscathed because, I mean, they're the main characters. Why the fuck not? He's like, "Here, let me help you with your luggage," and he pops it out. She's like, "Are you fucking serious? Look, it was upside down, and they just fell out on the ground. Like, now I have to pick them up." So she picks them up. Next time you see them, they're in the club, and they're dancing and stuff, and they're looking around. James McAvoy goes, "Hey, there's that French girl." It's like, "Okay, I got this." So she walks over, starts talking, and she's like, "Hey, so I hear you got some information for me." French lady goes, "Yeah, but what you want to do for it?" "Well, I don't know. You French people are crazy with your sexual appetites." And she's like, "We are." And then she pushes Charlize Theron onto the wall, and then she kisses her. And then Charlize Theron grabs her and pushes her on the wall, and she kisses her. And then lesbian stuff happens, and it's pretty decent.
As far as like, yeah, Hollywood movie lesbian stuff goes, it's pretty good.
Then she comes out. You don't really get to see that much. You see a little bit of skin. Then she walks out. James McAvoy's been by the door the whole time.
He's just at attention.
No. I mean,
what a gentleman.
He is a British intelligence officer. He knows how to keep it calm. And
I don't know. You think James Bond was ever that calm?
I think that he knew how.
Okay.
Yeah, he could. He was kind of like Sting and had that like tantric down, you know.
The 72 hours of just sex.
All right, continue.
Yes.
She's like, "Oh, so I got the information." James McAvoy's like, okay, cool. And she's like, well, let's leave. So they leave. And as soon as they get out, Charlize Theron pulls out the gun and pops James McAvoy in the back of the head.
Oh, shit.
And she's like, I'm the killer. And then it ends.
Oh, snap. That's a good twist. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So
there's more that stuff that happens.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Version.
Okay. Well, I do have a question. Was she supposed to kill James McAvoy the whole time?
No.
Oh, snap. So she went like rogue.
No. She was a hit person, so she was actually the one that killed the agent beforehand. She is the agent killer.
Oh, shit. That's a good twist.
Yeah.
I like that twist. I think we're going to have to keep that twist.
Oh, yeah. There we go. All right. So, we done this. How can we meld these together?
Okay. Well, I think we keep your twist ending where Charlize Theron was the murderer the whole time. We could probably scrap Robo Hitler.
Robo Hitler, yeah, probably.
We could probably scrap Robo Hitler.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be okay if he's on the cutting room floor. In the director's cut, maybe Robo Hitler will get his second chance to shine.
Yeah, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should keep the whole
the Whitehall experiments.
Whitehall experiments.
Okay.
But what happens? Ooh, here we go.
Okay.
How about this? With the Whitehall experiments, Charlize Theron actually has that power. Mm-hmm. But what it is she can control women with it. So what she does is she actually hasn't shed any blood herself, and all of these action scenes that you see aren't actually of her, but they're just of legend of her. What she does is she preys on women and makes it, and then hypnotizes them with her Whitehall powers and gets them into somehow just trains them with her vagina, and then they become assassins and they do her bidding. And she's been working for Russia the whole time.
Oh, okay. So it's like a hypnotic vagina that allows for mind control.
Yes.
So then was the Whitehall experiment still to resurrect dead soldiers and keep an unkillable army?
Yes, but what happened is that there was a secret agent from what's it called? The Kremlin. Mm-hmm. That was there, and he was actually the scientist the whole time. He was deep undercover. He trained himself in a British accent and everything, and he made it so it looked. He made two different ones. Ones that did the Eternal Soldiers, but then in a select few, which the only one that survived was Charlize Theron, gets the power.
So she's like a sleeper agent then.
Yes.
Okay, so we have Charlize Theron,
and her trigger word is Gumtree.
Gumtree.
Yeah.
Why Gumtree?
How much does Gumtree come up in conversation?
That's fair.
That's why.
Okay. So
let's put this together real quick. Here we go.
Okay.
So we have it all. Let's just do a quick rundown. So, go.
So we open. It's 1940s.
Yes.
And there is a Kremlin scientist working with all these British dudes to infuse these women with life-giving abilities.
It shouldn't be at the beginning. That should be at the end.
That
should be at the end.
So that'll be like our reveal.
In the text at the beginning of the film,
it
starts explaining the Whitehall experiments with the Eternal Soldiers. So you know that much. Bits and pieces throughout the whole film that are kind of hinting at a Kremlin agent in the Whitehall experiments.
Okay.
And then, finally, at the end, once it's all revealed that she actually got this French operative to do the killing, to start a war between Britain and France.
Again,
just like always. Come
Uh-huh.
on. Well, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
12.
Yeah. But it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlize Theron has convinced the French operative to become a murderer?
Yes.
And who is the French operative's target?
James McAvoy.
But then why does Charlize Theron kill James McAvoy and not the French operative?
She doesn't because she's hypnotizing the French operative to kill it, not Charlize Theron. And the only reason that it gets brought up is because that part is at the end, and you get to see it actually happen. And then it starts puzzling everything together for you. And you're like, oh my God, I missed all of these things that happened. And then bam!
Shyamalan.
Mind exploded. Yeah, Shyamalan all over your face.
So then this is the new M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to take out the previous director. We're going to put M. Night Shyamalan in there.
No, the whole time, that's another twist. It was like M. Night Shyamalan did this.
What a twist.
His best twist ever. He goes under another director. He has a director do everything except for the very end. And then he's like, I'm the director. And the guy's like, okay, I guess if I get a lot of royalties, I'm just like, oh, don't worry.
No, you'll get all your royalties.
Yeah, you'll get more than me. I just want to have the best twist of all the world. And he gets it. And then M. Night Shyamalan dies a happy man. Because he's had cancer this whole time.
Man, now that is a twist. It's funny to think that his whole life is working up to a twist ending.
Yeah. There we go. I think that's our inaugural episode, right?
I think so.
I think that we did it.
I think that is the best twist to that episode.
Yes. There we go. M. Night, we did you proud, right?
I think so.
There we go. So, hey, I'm Jeff.
I'm Paul.
And Paul, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Paul Roman. And they can also find me on a little-known YouTube channel.
Actually, you can find both of us on the Nerdentials podcast and YouTube channel. We do nerd news and nerd topics on the podcast, plus nerd news and Let's Plays and some just random videos on the YouTube channel. Also, you can find me on Twitter at the Geoff Barry, the THE Jeff. Geoff Barry, Barry.
Should we just start saying the Geoff Barry?
It might help.
I think it might.
But that's not my name.
I know it's not your name, but if you ask anyone, okay, fine,
yeah.
Spell it out. You're used to spelling it out.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know how to. I learned it in kindergarten. I don't know. One of those words. I don't know.
Did you used to spell it Jeff too?
I was actually really bad at spelling when I was a child.
Oh,
let's get real.
Tonight on a very special Too Long Didn't Watch.
Yeah. Now it's getting to that Too Long Didn't Listen.
Yeah.
Where Jeff pours out his heart.
All right. Well, while Jeff pours out his heart to me, we're pouring out our hearts to you, saying thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And check us out for next week's episode.
You know what? I think that we'll come up with a better outro.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that'll be better.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, folks. Bye bye.